Hey everybody, Nick here, and today I got a review for you of this little guy. This is the Retro51 Tornado pen. So first off, I want to thank very much my buddy Robo Jim for sending this little guy along. He actually donated this, he gave it to me as a gift for me, and I really appreciate that, because this is a great pen that I'd known about for a long time, but never actually bought. I mean, I used to work at a store where these guys were sold, and I was like, God, that's a weird design, but I never ended up going there. But turns out it's really compelling, so thanks for that, Jim. Next thing, let's do a size comparison here. This is not a huge pen particularly. Here we go. We'll put it next to a standard Bic Click stick sort of pen. As you can see, it's actually a little bit shorter than the norm in that way. Here it is against a regular pen that I lifted off a Hampton Inn. Whoops. Here it is against a pocket jotter. So you can see it's about the same overall length as a pocket jotter. The Kaweco Lilliput, which is one of my favorite pens to carry, and the Urban Survival Gear Tie Scribe Bolt, which is probably the pen I recommend most to people, although this is a pretty damn good recommendation as well. And so there you go. And then finally, let's just go into the good, the great, the bad, and the ugly of this little guy. So first off, on the good side, this is a pen that is very ergonomic. This feels just great in the hand, because the entire barrel tapers from something that's nice and wide up at the top here down to something that's very thin and compact down at the bottom here. And that means that this guy, coupled with its very nice balance and its very nice heft, its nice weight, just feels really great in the hand. I love writing with this guy, and I love just, it rests there just beautifully, and frankly, more so than most pens in my life. And so I appreciate that very, very much. And actually, it writes well, too. I mean, I've got my piece of testing paper here, and I mean, it writes very, very nicely. I can't really complain about that. And so that's great. And you can see here, this cartridge doesn't tend to have any dropouts, anything like that. I can sketch all freaking day, and as long as I'm using it's nice. Next thing, the action on this guy. What I mean by that is the deployment. In order to deploy the tip there is very straightforward. All you do is you twist here, and you twist and you twist and you twist, and then there's actually a little bit of a detent, and then it pops out and it stays out. So it's not the case that this will ever retract accidentally as you're writing with it. It's got that very nice twist to it. You can see it's actually moving inside there, and then pops in, pops out, in, out, but there's a nice little detent, nice little pop, and it feels great. It honestly, it feels very hydraulic. It feels excellent. And with this knurling on the top here that helps you grab on there, just absolutely great in that way. Big fan of the action there. I'm also a big fan of the durability of this. This is, as far as I can tell, an entirely metal pen. There may be some plastic inside there that I haven't been able to see, but by and large, everything here is metallic. And it has this feeling of just absolute durability that's, well, not necessarily the case with all pens. And so I appreciate very much that this is a durable little piece here. Next thing, the finish on this guy is great. This is called the Retro51 Tornado, and they've kind of done that with a nice little, I mean, I can see aesthetically speaking, it's looking like a little funnel coming down there, and it's got all that little you know, you can see spiraling down there. Hopefully, here, I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see some of this. And then down at the bottom here, they've got that same, and so they've got this very nice brushed finish on top of the copper here, which seems to be sealed with some kind of varnish or another. But I love the finish on this very much. I think it makes this metal look even better than it would have otherwise. It adds to the whole Tornado mystique very much there. Next thing, the branding on this is very subtle. You can see if we look at the top here, there is Retro51 up at the top. Oh, there. Let's zoom in, Retro51 Tornado. But that's it. If you just look at this pen from afar, it's just a nice coppery object here. You can't see the branding. It's not obnoxious, you know, huge in your face, etc. So I like that very much. This takes a refill. It comes with a Retro51 branded refill, this little guy here. But the thing is, it'll take any pocket cartridge, which is great. I'm always a big fan of, well, frankly, refill interchangeability. And so this means that even if you love the Retro51 cartridge, which isn't a bad thing to love, this is an impressive little cartridge here. Even if you're traveling or something, if you can hit an office supply store, you can get a pen refill for it, and so that's great. And then finally, the price on this guy is very nice. This is a $30 pen. That's given a fair amount of money for a pen. It's more expensive than your pocket jotter or something, but that's not the amount of money that it's like, oh my God, this is a crazy high-end pen. And given that a lot of everyday carry pens tend to go much more expensive, 70, 80, 100, 200, whatever, this is a pretty reasonable bargain. And so to me, that all is the good, is that it's got a nice price. It takes pocket refills. It's got a very nice weight and ergonomic sort of feeling there. It writes well. It's very durable with a very, very nice action and a finish that is absolutely gorgeous, 100%. And you get a variety of finishes too, by the way. On the great side, I kind of struggled to say what was great about this guy, because honestly, what's great to me is just that it feels damn well done. I mean, there is no part of this pen that I look at and just feel like, oh, that was lazy. Oh, that was a cut corner. Oh, that's awful, etc. I mean, yeah, there are a couple of nitpicks I can make here, but by and large, this is a very, very nice little pen. It writes nicely. Honestly, it feels way nicer than it should for 30 bucks. This is a very, very, very nice little pen, and it just has that strong feeling of felt niceness that's, well, probably amorphous, but by God, it's great to me. So that's the great, it's just a damn well done pen. Bad side, there's not that much here. I mean, there's not a whole lot of clip ramp, although by and large it tends to work, and the clip is relatively, there's not a lot of space underneath it, so if you've got very thick pockets, it might not land. It is fairly high up above the top of the clip, which means if you've got fold-over shirt pockets, this is going to be very awkward. Pardon me in there. Next thing, there is no way to rebend this clip that I'm aware of. This part up top here just does not want to come off, as it shouldn't, because it's, well, you're going to be twisting up here anyways. You don't want it to come loose. But if you were to snap the clip on something, unfortunately, there may not be a way to get this bent back into proper positioning, so you may be out of pen. For 30 bucks, I can pretty much live with that, but it's still not great. I do like for there to be some kind of option to turn the clip around and rebend it, or at least take it off the pen and rebend it, but whatever, not a huge deal. Next thing, it is a little bit sharp, and I'm nitpicking hard here, but this little area here is a little bit sharp. You can tell that it's been lathed out or something like that, but they didn't do a chamfer pass, or at least it's not a very strong one on the inside there. And so this is definitely sharp at the tip here. Not a big deal. There is no, there are occasional dry starts when using this refill, especially if I found myself, if I'm writing, then I stop for a couple of minutes to listen to something, and then I start writing again. There will occasionally be a little bit of a stutter in the ink flow again. This is not something, for instance, I get in a Montblanc rollerball refill, but that's also a more expensive refill and a way more expensive pen. Actually, it doesn't need to be. It's just a refill. But still, it's something to keep in mind. And then finally, maybe the thing I like least about this, the worst thing, which ain't so bad, is the fact that the tip on this guy doesn't really match the body. You can see here that the tip is kind of finished very differently. It's a lot darker. And there's also a little bit of a visible ridge here as you go from tip to body. Is it the end of any worlds? Absolutely not. And this is a nitpick through and through, but it's the only thing on this guy that feels like, well, they could have done that better. Had this brushing, it doesn't even have to match, but even just the coloration. Had the coloration matched a little bit better, it would feel, I don't know, a little different, but that's the level I'm nitpicking at here. So that's the bad, is that the tip doesn't match super well, aesthetically as well as mechanically there. It is a little sharp at the tip. There is no way to rebend the clip. There's the occasional dry start, and there's not a whole lot of clip ramp, although it by and large works. Final conclusion, look, this is a great freaking pen. And it is a pen that is really solid to carry with you. There are many pens in the world that are absolutely stellar pens, but you put them in the pocket and they just feel out of place. They feel wrong. They feel like they're too fragile. They're divas. Maybe they splatter everywhere. No, this is a pen that just works beautifully in the pocket. And it's a nice writer, too. I mean, carrying this guy, using this guy, it feels great in the hand, and it feels great to write with. And every day I had this in my pocket for review, it was like, damn, this is a good pen. And I liked it. And I will absolutely be holding on to this, because, this will be the pen that I take to work. So that way, on days when I forget my pen, I'll just use this for the day instead of grabbing some crappy little Bic or something or another. This is a pen that I substantially liked, and that was really at home in my everyday carry, in my life, etc. And although it includes a great refill, it takes any of them, which really would have been the only terrible thing they could have done, but they didn't even do that. And so, look, I love this pen. It's great. I enjoyed carrying it a great deal. It is absolutely a solid freaking gem here, and it's a pen that I can very, very easily recommend. If you like the idea of it, if you like the looks of it, of any of the varieties of it, just buy the freaking pen. 30 bucks ain't so bad, and this is really, really, really solid for the price. So thank you very much, Jim. I hope you enjoyed this review here, and that this was the right idea, and that this little tornado is absolutely going to blow you away if you pick one up. All right. Hope this has been interesting. Have a good one. Bye now.